Microphone 1.
Yes, sir. John L. Woody, Cobb County. I'd like to read something. There is a misconception that Section 1021 of the fiscal year 12 NDAA allows American citizens to be detained indefinitely without legal representation if they are deemed a threat to national security. This is absolutely false. But in order to clarify this misconception, we, being Congress, included the Right of Habeas Corpus Act, of which in which Phil Gingrey was a co-sponsor, which reaffirms that our citizens will receive habeas corpus privileges without fail. This law ensures our constitutional rights are not violated during wartime operations and guarantees Americans their day in court. The bipartisan bill provides that nothing in the authorization for use of military force of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012 shall be construed to deny the availability of the writ of habeas corpus in a court ordained or established under Article 3 of the Constitution for any person who is detained in the United States. We also passed the Gohmert Amendment, which reaches back to FY12 NDAA to clarify that it was never intended to allow the President an end around the Constitution.
Thank you. The committee chair is asked to be heard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And in light of the amendment and what the committee that brought forth this resolution has deemed would be undermining the spirit, intent, and potentially also the effectiveness of the Georgia Republican Party moving forward, we would respectfully ask to withdraw this resolution.
No.
Okay.
Just got passed. We're getting reconsideration.
Thank you. Almost done. Almost done. Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask that Steve Ramey from the 7th come forward and present our resolution.
We're trying to move on.
Point of order. Microphone 1.
Didn't a vote have to happen to approve the amendment?
A vote would be required in order to amend. A vote would be required in order to adopt. But the committee has decided to withdraw. And so, as a result,
Freaking bastards, man. See, they don't want to have...
Well, I have the honor to pass a resolution honoring our military personnel and military veterans, whereas the United States would not be a free nation without the sacrifice of our nation's finest in the defense of liberty. Be it resolved that the Georgia Republican Party honors all veterans and calls upon all Americans to pray for the safety of our armed forces and for the families who serve with them.
you have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt? Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have the resolutions adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two more resolutions here.
Point of order. Where is it? 3. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. My question is, once the committee has concluded its report, excuse me, this mic is not working well, it's echoing too much.
It does for me too.
Is it possible, because there is a great deal of support for the original unamended resolution that was just withdrawn, can it be resubmitted from the floor?
It It cannot be done from the floor because of the rules, and I am bound by the withdrawal by the committee chair. I agree with you, there is a substantial amount of report, but that's not something within my prerogative. So we'll have to take up now the next resolution. Point of information, which is one.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Could you please cite the rule that you're speaking of? I'm sorry, I'm just not totally familiar with the rules of the party.
The question is, in order for the resolution to come out, the rules required that were adopted in the call, the resolutions had to be submitted to the committee by a date certain, and only resolutions submitted by the date certain could then be recommended by the committee, and resolutions then would not be permitted from the floor.
Okay.
And thank you.
But wasn't the...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wasn't the resolution introduced
by the committee?
And withdrawn. And withdrawn. That's the part of it.
Point of order.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Hold on. Everybody stay calm. I'll get to you. Number 4?
Yes. Thank you. The amendment, the resolution was presented. It was voted on and adopted.
Yes.
It cannot be withdrawn without a vote.
Actually, what happened was the resolution was presented. There was a motion and a second. There was then a motion to amend. The motion to amend was then...
No, there was a motion to discuss.
Yes, there was a motion to amend to add a sentence about whether or not someone who didn't support it could be supported by the party. That was then made. Then there was a motion for reconsideration. And as a result, the motion for reconsideration was seconded. It was then pending. And before a motion could be held on the resolution committee decided to withdraw the resolution. That's what happened. Are there other questions? Number 3.
Andrew Strickland, delegate from Baldwin County.
Yes.
I would just like to mention that if the Georgia Republican Party is going to withdraw resolutions every time the votes don't exactly go your way, then we're undermining the very foundation of this party.
Amen. And you're a bunch of treasonous bastards. We don't even care what else you have to say.